Good morning, folks. I thought I'd make a quick video on a couple of little part writing traps that you'll probably see next Tuesday. And they have to do with two things. One is a 6/4 chord, and then the other one is a suspension. Okay. And so I know we went over this earlier, back probably in January, February, sometime in there, but I thought I'd hit it one more time with you. First of all, 6/4, a cadential 6/4 is what I'm talking about here. Is so do. Okay, and so in this first example here, I've got in the key of F, I've got the first part already done. Okay, and then so a 1/6/4 is still an F A C in the key of F. But remember, in 6/4 chords, you always double the bass. Okay, and so 6/4 means that the fifth is in the bass, so that's C. So you double the C. Okay, so we bring the bass up to C. Okay. And then the 5/7 chord in the key of F would be C, E, G, B flat. And so that's that so. And then the one chord would be F, A, C. And this would be a half note. Okay. All right. So, do. Now, the thing that most students screw up is not doubling the bass. Okay. Now you want to get into this by stepwise motion. Okay, now it looks like, let's see, the F is the common tone here. So let's keep our common tone. So we have F, C, we need an A, and then another C. Okay, now that goes up. So it would make sense to me to bring the soprano down by step and double the C, and then bring the tenor down to the A. Okay, so that's the first thing, is you got to make sure that you're doubling the bass in a 6/4 chord. Okay. Now, the second thing is that all of these voices move down by step to the 5/7. Okay, you can't be jumping around right here or anything. Oftentimes, at least in a figured bass, you'll see this chord to be something like 8/6/4, and then sometimes they even draw the lines in here to 7/5/3. And if it's in minor, you'll maybe see like a natural here or a sharp or something on the 3. Sometimes they'll just leave out the 3 and they'll just leave the natural. Okay, so what this means is the octave goes down to the 7th of this chord. Now the octave is the C, so it's going to go down to the 7th, which is the B flat. Okay, and then the 6 goes to the 5, so C, D, E, F, G, A. A is the 6, it goes to the 5, C, E, G. And then the 4 goes to the 3. So the 4th above C, C, D, E, F goes to the 3. And this happens to be the leading tone, right? In the key of F, the leading tone is E. Okay. Then you have to part write your dominant 7th chord. So the 7th goes down and the leading tone goes up. So this is the 7th. It's going to come down to an A. The leading tone is the E. It's going to go up to the F. That's that tritone resolution. Now we have F, F, A. If we went up to the C here, that would be parallel fifths. We can't do that. So you remember, this is that weird thing that we talked about a lot, where often you'll triple the root, okay, in a 5/7/1. Now we could have frustrated the leading tone because it's in an inner voice. We could have brought this down to the C and had a complete 1 chord, but honestly, it doesn't matter. This is probably the more common resolution. Okay, so that's a 6/4 chord thing. Once again, you got to make sure that you double the bass in a 6/4, and you got to make sure that everything moves stepwise motion to the 5/7. Okay, now the other thing is this thing at the bottom here, and this is a suspension. Okay, so suspensions look like this: 4-3. You might have an 8-7, or you might have a 7-6, or you might have a, let's see, 4-3, 7-6, a 9-8. So a 9-8. But what that means is that, now this is still a 5 chord, so we're in the key of G down here. So this is a 5 chord. So the 5 chord in the key of G, G, B, D. So this is going to be a D, F sharp, A. Okay. And then the 6th chord in the G, G, A, B, C, D, E, is going to be an E, G, B. Okay, a deceptive cadence. All right, so what this 4 means is that while the other voices move on to the 5 chord, the 4, a fourth above the bass here, the bass is going to be a D, maybe a half note here. Okay, so whatever the 4 is going to hold over from the previous chord. So what's a 4 above D? Do it on your fingers. D, E, F, G. Okay, so that's this G right here. So the 4, and it's going to be half the rhythm of whatever the other voices are. So this is a half note. So it's going to be a quarter note. Okay. Now the 3 above D is D, E, F, F sharp. So that's going to be F sharp. Now notice a suspension has 3 parts. It's got a preparation, that's the same note, and then it's got a suspension, that's the actual non-chord tone, and then the resolution goes a step down. Suspensions go a step down. So they go like straight and then down. Okay? And so what you have to remember is that whatever your suspension is, you're going to make sure that you keep it, the previous note has to be in the same voice. G, G, F sharp. Okay? Now, we've got D, F sharp. We need an A. Let's keep our A here. Okay. D, F sharp, A. And then we need to double something. This might as well double the root. D right there. Okay, perfect. All right, now the other thing, now notice that this chord really happens on beat 2. That's what a suspension is. It's got a non-chord tone and then a suspension. So this is a D, F sharp, A, D chord, and it's going to move to an E, G, B chord. So let's put our bass note in here. E. Okay. Now, there aren't any common tones here. Remember, when there's not any common tones, you want everything to go against the bass or opposite direction of the bass. So the bass goes up, everything else goes down. Now, the exception to that might be with the leading tone. And now, what is the leading tone of G? Well, F sharp. So the leading tone has to go back up. Okay, so that's going to be G here. And then if we went A to B flat, E, G, B, that'd be parallel fifths, wouldn't it? So this has to go contrary motion nearest. Okay. E, G, G. And remember, in a 5/6, you double the third and the sixth. Now we need a B here. Let's just bring it down right there. Okay. So that is part writing a suspension. Okay. Remember that and most of them are 4/3s on the exam. You might see a 7/6. See, you might see a 9/8. 9/8 means that you hold the previous ninth, which is really a second, and then it resolves to the 8. 9/8, 7/6, 4/3 are really the 3 big types of suspensions that you'll probably see. Hope this helped, and hope I guarantee you'll see one of these. You might see both of them next week on the exam. So you want to make sure you understand what all of these extra numbers mean. Hope this helps. Thanks.